Hi, good evening and welcome to Oracle Ophiuchus. This is my second general reading for Tarot and Oracle cards. My name is Angie and this is Oracle Ophiuchus. Tonight I went with the fairy themed cards, Oracle cards. I drew one ruin chip. I've got the Herkimer quartz here, and I got a book called the Book of Answers, and I'm not sure what the question is, but I drew to a random page in here, and it says, "It won't matter when you do, but that you do. It won't matter when you do, but that you do." So sometimes we just got to take that leap of faith, make that first step, and get moving forward. So again, this is my second reading. This is for Tuesday, January 26, 2021. With the fairy decks, and I'll show you each card. The first card that I flipped over is from the Fairies Oracle deck, and I really like this Brian Froud deck. It's got some influence from Amy Brown as well, which I also have a deck of hers. But the card that I drew is called the Master Maker, and so this card represents craftsmanship, kind of doing your best work as a person. Can also be creativity, art. In the card, this little guy, he's like a brownie or something, is holding a glowing staff, a little bearded guy. He's standing on the head of like a horned elfin woman. So the next card that I drew was Adoration, and it's from something called the Fairy Wisdom deck by Amy Brown. In this deck, there's a woman fairy who's holding a baby, or like a cherub baby, kind of with curly blonde hair. They both have purple blue wings on and clothing, and for me, blue represents creativity, the throat chakra, singing, speaking, things like that. Purple, spirituality, and the crown chakra, so definitely the upper, higher chakras. So dark blue is kind of in between those two, with the third eye, with insight, so it's kind of like a deep midnight blue. So the third card that I drew, so we have Master Maker, Adoration, and then Compassion. The third card that I drew is from a deck called Fairy Reflections, and the card that I drew says Compassion. And this card, I have quite a bit of information on it. It says, by widening your circle of compassion for all of nature's creatures, your spirit will soar. And so this card is really about emotional maturity, about having empathy for others, desire to help others when they're in pain, but also to celebrate others' accomplishments. Having understanding, doing unto others as we would have them do unto us, caring for animals as well as people. So in order to get to that place of compassion, we have to have both courage and inner strength to begin with, so that we can be happy for others' achievements and not feel like jealousy or envy or why not me, why isn't it my turn? And just kind of a focus on the bigger picture and belonging to humanity as a whole. The card speaks of random acts of kindness, about relationships with others, understanding yourself first, and then by nature of that, being able to help others from what you've understood about your own experiences. Imagining self in another's shoes, so taking different viewpoints, taking actions to make the world a better place, however that looks for you, just one small little act. When you're feeling called to. So envisioning a better world, having something called loving detachment, we talk about in 12-step groups sometimes. It's about allowing people personal agency, allowing them to face the consequences of their choices and actions. And that's for their own growth and strength to learn from their mistakes. And that's hard to do when you love somebody, just to kind of watch them like fall on their face and not want to help them, especially if you've been there in that same or similar circumstance or situation yourself. But that's how we learn sometimes as humans. It's also, this card can be about enlightenment, spirituality, kind-heartedness, and sacredness. It speaks to the protective parental instincts that bond, helping others in need. Here in Bloomington, there's a large homeless population, and so affordable housing has been an ongoing issue here. Just sometimes, you know, taking things off, dropping off like supplies or something, clothes, food, water, basic toiletries, and personal hygiene products. So the card can also be about resolving conflict, finding common ground with one another. It's a card of positive energy and being able to have a positive effect on others, being a leader through our actions. The fourth card that I drew is called Triamore. I wasn't really sure what that meant, so I had to Google it. I don't have the book on this card. It's from a Celtic deck. It's got Celtic circles on it. And I thought immediately, like, tri-amour, like try love. So there's some kind of maybe French-ish connection or meaning to the card. On the card, there's like a young girl. She's like a forlorn-looking girl outside of a castle sitting on a rock. It's like a knight or a guard is looking at her. It's dusk or dawn in the picture, and the card is from the suit of fall because there's fall leaves in the background. So Triamore, when I Googled, I got a reference to brownies or boggarts again, like in the first card, because they sometimes are an energy or spirit that works on farms in Celtic lore and culture. But also there was a Sir Triamore from a novel who won a joust and then won this princess as a consequence of winning these like knight tournaments. But basically she chose him. So not only did he win the princess, he won the land and the people, but she chose him after the tournament because she thought he was the best participant, the best knight there. And I just want to give a shout out to my girls Lisa and Jamie for this Herkimer diamond. Pretty good chunk there. Those only come from Herkimer, New York, my understanding. Herkimer quartz there. For the ruin chip, I drew, I don't know if you can see this, but it's a little person lying on the ground with like a flag. So basically it's called Flagman, and I had to look it up, and it's about surrender and defeat, exhaustion, weariness, things like that. But some of the positive meanings are it can be about retreat, waving the white flag, just knowing when to surrender, when to stop fighting, when to let go. I struggle with that sometimes, wanting to control situations, wanting to control the outcome because I'm trying to protect myself, my heart, you know. So just saying, you know, stop fighting, let go, maybe time to rest. The book says it's associated with the Strength card, which in the major arcana of Tarot, and Rider-Waite has a lion on the front of it. There's a person opening a lion's jaws, and so it's about strength. So surrender, you know, you have to be strong in order to surrender, and have to be strong in order to admit this, I can't control this, this is above or beyond me. Speaking of the Rider-Waite deck, I'm still studying that Tarot. I know some of the major arcana. It's a lot of the minor ones, memorizing the numbers and things like that. It's taken me some time. I know a lot of people just go by the pictures. I do want to give a shout out to my friend Sarah for giving me a deck that she had. Girl has more Tarot and Oracle decks than anybody else I know. But I'm really enjoying getting into it and talking with others and trading things. So I do want to do more of these readings and to just practice more. So reach out if you want me to do a mini reading for you. If you noticed, I changed my tabletop cover from the last time. I had a rainbow flag, and it just happened to be what I had that would make a good cover. Tablecloth over top the massage table here. But thank you to my mama Cheryl. She's like a mom to me in Kentucky. She pointed out that it was pretty bright and distracting, so I went with just a soft black fleece blanket, and I think that works nicely with everything, with the layout. So anyway, have a good evening, and I hope that this reading resonated with someone. You know, again, I kind of get a sense of general about creativity, of that nature. So yeah, again, with the colors, the purple and the blue, and then the master maker, creator, creativity, compassion. And then with the last card, the Tri-Amour, was more, you know, just the story of the girl who was won by the knight. So that may, whatever that means for you, the colors associated with fall, the word amour, love, may have a personal meaning. And then surrender, again, on the ruined ship. Herkimer quartz kind of represents clarity because it's one of the more clear quartzes that's out there. And again, the final reading from the Book of Answers was, it won't matter when you do, but that you do. It won't matter when you do, but that you do. And again, that goes to doing and acting, creating, achieving, and things of that nature. So thank you again from Oracle Fucus, and have a good evening.